All right, we are live. How's it going? Hey, Robert, thanks for joining us tonight. How's
What's
your
up,
day going,
Hugo?
man?
It's going good, man. I'm just hanging out at the house watching a little basketball. Just got done picking my boy up from Little League, and
Nice.
yeah, having a good day, man. How about you?
I'm doing good, man. It was a busy day. Had a full day of work and just stuff with the kids, so
Yeah,
you know how
yeah.
it is. But hey, I just want to say thanks for joining us tonight on the live stream, and hopefully we can talk a little bit about what you do and kind of just share more about what you do on Twitter. I know you've been active on Twitter for a while, and your main thing is stack sales. Um, so if we could just start with that, if you want to if you don't mind, just maybe giving a description of really what that is. I know a lot of people already kind of know what it is, but maybe there's people who don't. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's something that's kind of unique to Twitter.
mm,
So, at least in my experience, has been that a lot of people that I talk to that do a lot more hobby stuff on Instagram or at card shows or in person, they're not really familiar with stack sales. So, for
mm,
anybody that doesn't know, the way that it works is, a seller like myself would post cards on a regular basis. For me, it's like 4 or 5 days a week, something like that. And when I post cards, when I make them available, it could be one card, it could be 100 cards. It's just
mm,
what I got as inventory is coming in, and I'm able to organize it. And post the cards for sale. When potential customers want to claim those cards, all they have to do is just acknowledge that they want to claim them, and just
right.
however they want to do it. And then part of the service that we provide is to just keep all that organized for them, send out regular updates. And the way that it works is, the customer can build up a stack over a period of time and then have all those mailed to them at once. So, it does a couple of things, man. It makes it to, first of all, where you don't got to stop everything you're doing and send in a PayPal transaction every time you want to buy a card,
Right,
especially with
right.
$2, $5, something like that. For me, it helps me to make more sales, man. I wouldn't be able to sell as many cards without that format. So,
Mm,
I really like it a lot. I've been doing it for a little bit over 2 years.
okay.
Yeah, seems to be it's pretty cool, man. I've made a lot of friends doing it, and got a lot of customers. Usually we have, somewhere around the neighborhood of 125 to 150 stacks open at a time. So
Wow.
it's a good bit of work, man. You really have to be sharp on your organizational skills. For
Mm,
me, it took a lot of practice and just tweaking different things, man, and getting finally coming up with a system that works. But yeah, that's pretty much how the stack sales go. Uh, I guess I would say the hardest part about doing that, man, is just trying to keep enough inventory coming in.
mm, yeah.
If you can imagine, so like I said, there might be 125 customers, and each
Right.
one of these customers is hoping to be able to find enough cards that they like, that they can get to first. And as you know, sometimes that's a challenge. Some people are really fast, man. They came up all the good
Exactly.
cards, and in enough time so that whenever their stack is due, they've got a decent shipment coming in. It's just a
Mm,
lot of cards that I have to buy. So I really
mm,
spend a ton of time just scouring the internet, just looking for lots to buy and collections to buy, working with other dealers. So yeah, it's a
nice.
blast. I love it though, man. I really love it. It's a blast.
So have you what do you what do you think are one of the challenges that you face with doing it? Like, do you face any challenges, or do you feel like it's maybe you did at first, but you were able to work through those things?
The biggest thing is the time. You know,
Mm,
the so over time being able to work on different systems that seem to work better, we've been able to kind of streamline. But early
okay.
on, I always tell people whenever they're first getting started, if they want to try this deal, is try to imagine how much time it's going to take you to do each step of the
Mm,
process, and then multiply that by about four, because
mm,
everything just takes a lot longer than you think. So that's the biggest challenge, man. I've got a full-time job, two kids, husband. I gotta help cook dinner and all the stuff that everybody else does, man.
right.
And sometimes I get into this deal and I think it's going to take me an hour, and next thing you know, 4 hours has gone by, or I'm doing 40 hours a week, and I got like a second job, and that's probably the biggest challenge, man, is the time. Sometimes uh, it turns into more of a job than a hobby, and
Mm,
kind of sucks the fun out of it. And I gotta just try to find the balance, man. I'll shut it down for weeks at a time sometimes
Yeah.
just to make sure I don't lose my family. I say that
Right.
joking, but make sure I'm not missing out on too much time that I should be spending with them.
Right, right. That makes sense. Now, so I do understand that because I know you have a website. I meant to get that on the chat, but maybe I can link that up later. But it sounds like you do have some help from your family when you do this, right? Is
Oh
this?
yeah, for sure, man. But my kids are teenagers, and
Mhm.
so both of them, they're really interested and trying to make a few extra bucks when they can. My daughter, she sends out the updates every week, and she does all the shipping, and
Oh
she's
wow.
great at it, man. She's great at it, and it helps out a ton because we ship orders out every day.
Wow.
So having her help do that, and then my son, man, my son's always like trying to help me look for deals, look for new lots. He pulls everybody's cards whenever the orders get paid for to get them ready to ship, and does a lot of work on scanning inventory, getting things ready. So uh, I even get my little nephew whenever he comes over, man. I'll get him putting cards in penny sleeves, and yeah,
Mhm.
I like to get my family involved, man, and it keeps us close and doing something together.
Yeah, that's cool. So
Yeah.
what made you want to try or start this whole thing with stack sales? Like, were you selling cars before doing it with this process, or what made you
Yeah,
kind of move to this?
kind of. I always wanted to. Uh,
Mm,
to me, it's always been a really fun part of the hobby, man. That just the idea that I can enjoy the cards that I want to collect for
right.
however long I've got them in my possession, and I love it, man. I enjoy the whole deal, man. Trying to find cards I want to buy, pulling the
Yeah.
trigger on the purchase, man. Waiting on that mail day. But on the back end, at some point, if for whatever reason I don't like the card as much, I want to upgrade or whatever, then I've always loved the idea of being able to, cash my cards back in and at least get some of the money back.
Right.
And
Right.
so I started working on trying to sell cards. I mean, I've been doing it my whole life, man. But on the internet, probably since about 2008, and I tried all kinds of different things on eBay, different forums, like all collectors do, man. And I made some sales here and there, but it was nothing like
Mhm.
what came about with the stack sale deal. So, and I didn't set out to do it like on purpose. I saw other people doing it on Twitter,
Yeah.
and like a lot of other people that I've ran into since I started doing it, it started off as just I'm going to do one sale and see if I can get rid of some of these cards that I got that I don't really have any use for. And it was like, I mean, we posted like 1,100 cards at one time, and they were
Wow.
all like 25 cents to $1 a piece, and it was successful. It was pretty fun. Me and my son did it. We were super excited about the extra money that we made, and we just put it back into some other cards. And
Yeah.
and that was pretty much it, man. Like I was hooked. Whenever the first time I tried it, and it worked a little bit. There's like a rush, man, that I felt whenever people were buying the cards that we were like all the work that we did, and people were
Mhm.
actually buying them. I was like, oh, this is so cool, man. This is it. So yeah, that's what made me try it. Really, is just seeing other people do it, and wanted to give it a go.
Nice. That's really cool. And you talk about the rush as far as like you post them, you're waiting for somebody to buy them. Now I've been on the buyer side, and I've had a chance to actually build up my own stack with you, and so many times, too many times, I always miss out on the Kobe cards.
Yeah,
And
man.
I'm a big Kobe fan, but it really happens really fast. So like really to explain it, I know you post the card, you have a price, and basically it just comes down to the first person who replies take or anything, something along those lines. And multiple times there's been times that I've tried it and it's just like I've missed, like someone else beats me to it. But it's fun. I think it's for me it's just fun to buy that way. um and so I'm looking forward though to I think I'm actually looking forward to this massive Mel Day. Not even sure how many cards I have in my stack, but I'm looking forward to it. So
Yeah, updates will go out this weekend, man. You can get a good refresher on what you got. Yeah, man. I think a lot of people feel that way. Like there's a little bit of a game to it too, man. I'm trying to get the timing right on the cards that you want. And, you know, for you, it just so happens that you collect the most popular guy in the whole hobby, and everybody loves Kobe.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't always keep a lot of Kobe cards in my inventory, but I for sure do now.
Mm.
And I also really try to prioritize cards that are in the price range that I know a lot of my customers like, you know. So I got a lot of them, but even still, man, it's like every time I post one card, there'll be 6 people that try to claim it in 5 seconds. You know, it's just,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
so fast. I can do nothing but Kobe Bryant sales,
Yeah.
and
Really.
you know, and probably it probably never get old
That's cool.
for everybody else. You know, it would for me.
Yeah. So so just speaking of just collecting, did you collect as a kid? What really got you into just the hobby? Like, was there anything in particular?
Yeah, man. Well, it was just what it was when I was a kid, man. Cards were the thing in my neighborhood. And my, you know,
Mm.
I lived in some apartments in South Texas, and you know, everybody collected cards, man. There was a card
Mm.
shop down the road, across the street from my school. This is like the late '80s, you know, and
Yeah.
oh man, it if we went to a sleepover, you know, there'd be like 5 little boys at a sleepover, and we'd all bring all of our cards.
Mm.
It was just a big part of my life whenever I was a child, and uh, I stuck with it, man. I just been doing it my whole life, man. I love everything about it. There were some times though, you know, there was a good 10 years where I didn't really know anybody else that collected cards. You know,
Mm.
it just really fell out of, you know, popularity with people,
Right.
and yeah, it was pretty lean, man. But I wish I would have known how it was going to turn out, man. Because back then you could go. I mean, I remember buying like these nice Clayton Kershaw gold refractors, serial number to 50. This is like 2010, 2012. Nobody cared about cards. You could buy them for like $4, you know,
Wow.
and they were there just like however many. I mean, it was cards like that. Nobody cared about something like a parallel refractor. You could just go on eBay and buy them all day long, you
Mm.
know.
That's crazy.
I
So
always say, man, that's one of the secrets of the hobby, man, is that the best cards always come out when nobody cares,
mm,
you know.
wow. Interesting. So, all right. So we got a couple questions here in the chat. I'll just throw these on the screen if you can see them. Do you have a favorite sport? And then also, do you also have like a favorite card of yours?
Yeah, man, I should have grabbed some of my cards I could show, but I didn't grab any. So my
Right.
favorite sport is baseball. I'm an Astros fan. I live in the Houston area, but I'm also just a passionate basketball fan. The NFL is probably my least favorite, but baseball for sure, man. Especially, you know, I like I said, I'm in the Houston area, and in the summertime, the Astros play every Saturday at 3 and every Sunday at 1. And it
Mm.
is so hot outside that there's no reason to be out there. So everybody just stays inside in the air conditioning, watches the Astros game, and it really is like they call baseball the America's pastime. And
Right.
that's what it is for us in the dead of the summer. As far as my favorite card, I have a 1927 Babe Ruth card. It's from a Carmel set. E210 is the name that they used to catalog it, but it was made by York Carmel in Pennsylvania. And
Wow.
yeah,
1922, huh?
1927.
27.
And
Okay.
I
Wow.
picked
Wow.
that was another one, man. I picked it up back when nobody cared. Like, I mean, Babe Ruth cards were never cheap, but like 5% of what I would have to pay for it now. Uh,
Hmm.
I also
Wow.
have a Wilt Chamberlain rookie. That's one of my favorites. That was my dad's favorite player whenever he was growing up. So yeah,
Nice.
my collection really I like to find little things that nobody really cares about that I can pick up for $1 or two and put together a cool binder. It's
Hmm.
fun to go through, something fun to do with my son. But really, my main collection is like what you would call like iconic rookie cards. You know, Jordan, Kobe, Wilt Chamberlain, Hank Aaron, Mickey Mantle, Willie Mays, those guys.
Nice. That
Yeah.
sounds like a pretty good collection. Um, so next time if we do another one of these interviews, hopefully we can you can have some of those nearby and maybe show them off if you're down with that.
Yeah, for sure, man. I love
Um,
showing my cards off.
So so speaking of different cards, different types of cards, do you ever go to card shows out in Houston? Is there anything that's popular out there, as far as for card shows?
Yeah, the car show scene's okay here. There's a big show in Dallas, and that's bigger than any show that comes to Houston. But there's a little monthly show that a friend of mine puts on every month in a hotel lobby, and then TriStar Collectibles sets up a couple times a year. Usually, there's another group, Fitterman Sports Cards, that'll do a couple shows. But here lately, a friend of mine here in Houston has started doing shows, man, and they just did their first one last month. Man, I wish I could think of the name. I'd love to give him a plug, but it was a great show, man. It's his Twitter account is at HOU Sports Cards, and that was a great show. I love to go to shows, but I don't really like to set up and stay.
Yeah.
The big shows are usually like 3-4 days, man. And like I said before, I got a family, I got other stuff, man. I really just don't like to sit there for that long. But I do have a strategy when I go to shows. I always go to shows and buy. Now it's inventory. Before I started doing stack sales, it was just trade bait or whatever. But I'll share this with anybody who's listening out there. The best deals are always in the back. You come in the front, and the dealers at the front of the show, they paid big money for their table right up front. They got a bunch of signs. They want to buy all your good cards. They got a bunch of really expensive cards. I walk right past those guys, ghost them, man, like they're not even there. I'm looking for the dude in the back who's a collector like me, who just does a show like every once in a while, and he's got a box full of stuff that $1 a card or $5 a card or whatever, man.
Right.
Yeah, I love to go to shows, and I'll fill up a 5-gallon trash bag, man, with just dollar cards.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's always fun too. Even me and my dad. So my dad's actually in the chat here. He's the one who asked the question. So him and I go to shows. And we actually have a show coming up that we're gonna go to out here in Southern California. So I'm just looking forward to that as well. And we always look through different like dollar boxes and all that stuff. And I always think it's fun. So what do you so have you had a chance to go to that Dallas show? Because I've heard about that show, but I haven't had a chance to go there.
Yeah, I went to the Dallas show. I've been to it a couple times. It's actually this weekend coming up, and I've
Oh,
been
okay.
kind of tossing around the idea. Some of my friends are going to be there for sure. I went to that show during COVID, and
Mm,
so COVID was going on. The whole country was pretty much shut down except for Dallas. They're like, whatever, man, we'll do the show. So go up there, and it was just packed, man. And
mm,
it's Texas, so some people were wearing a mask, some people weren't wearing a mask, man. You really don't,
yeah.
the way it is around here, man. You just, you kind of keep your political opinions to yourself if you go out in public. So that was an interesting deal, man, because it was like packed, man. That show in Dallas has been going on for a long time, but it really picked up popularity during that time because
Mm.
everybody else shut down. So it was like the only show going on. So people were flying in from all over the country. Nobody wanted to get COVID, but everybody really wanted to go to card shows too, man. So
Yeah, that's funny. And
yeah,
and I've heard of people flying out from California, a lot of people just even flying out from here to go there. But I
there's
definitely
a lot of like real expensive cards. Also, just a good variety. Like if you want to go just put your eyes on some real expensive cards in person, or you want to go pick through dollar boxes like I do, man, it's all there. It's a big
mm,
show.
yeah, one of these days I'll have to check that out. Um so, I know you talked a little bit about basketball. I know we have the playoffs going on. Are you seeing any trends with just the playoffs, like maybe certain cards, certain guys who are selling faster than others, or are you noticing anything like that at all?
Yeah, I mean, it's always the same in all sports. The fans of the teams that are doing well, and even people that aren't necessarily fans, but especially the fans of the teams that are doing well, they want to celebrate their team doing
Mm,
well.
right.
So Boston Celtics fans are buying all the Jason Tatum cards right now, man. And it's just one of the fun things about sports, man. Like if you're a Celtics fan, the Celtics are on this crazy run. That's all everybody's thinking about. I wish I had more Jason Tatum cards, man, because I would love to help people get some more in their collections. But that's how it goes. And then the day after somebody gets eliminated, like if
Mm.
you're sitting on Devin Booker cards right now, you might as well just put them in a drawer for a while, man. Like, but that's how it always goes. Like, there's a little bit of it feels almost like gambling a little bit in the playoffs with
Mm.
cards because they go up and down so fast depending on how the players do. But it's really
Right.
just a representation of fan support, best I can tell.
Got it. All right. So what's your prediction? So who do you think is going to make it to the finals?
Eesh. I think Miami's gonna win it, man. That's the team that I think is gonna.
You think they're going to win the whole thing?
Mm-hmm.
So who do you think will come out of the West? Golden State or the Mavericks?
I think Golden State will come out of the West, man. The Dallas is having a great run, man. Luka's playing out of his mind.
Right.
I just think that at the end of the day, Golden State's got a little bit too much offensive firepower for Dallas.
Yeah.
Uh, we'll see, man. Like they really have a hard time matching up with Luka, and Luka's probably the best player right now in the series. You know,
Mm.
Steph's had a better career, but in my opinion, he seems like he's old. He's kind of past his prime. Luka's just coming into his prime, and historically in basketball, the team with the best player has a better chance to win. But
Mm.
you know, things happen. You got to get some help. I mean, we just saw it with the Bucks and the Celtics, man. Giannis was the best player in that series, but after
Yeah.
Middleton went down, it just wasn't quite enough there, man.
Yeah.
I still thought the Bucks are going to win. Let me say this: I don't really know that much about basketball, man. When it comes to predicting who's going to win,
Yeah.
terrible. I made a
Oh, that's
bet
all
with a
good.
coworker of mine this year that the Pacers were going to win more games than the Bulls. So that tells you where I'm at, man.
Oh,
The
it's all
Pacers.
good. Well, we're just talking, chatting, so it's all good. No worries.
What
Um,
about you? What about you? You probably go Warriors. Everybody out there is Warriors, huh?
well, actually, I'm not a Warriors fan. I'm actually a Lakers fan. So
Okay.
it was a kind of a painful season, but it's okay. Um, I think I don't know. I think the Mavs have a good chance. I think they are kind of seen as the underdog, even though Luka is playing great. I think Warriors have a lot more experience, being in this in the playoffs, making it to championships. So that could definitely be a strength for them. So, oh man, I don't know. I think I'm kind of pulling for the Mavericks to come out of the West. Um, I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but I'm pulling for them. For the East, I think I don't know. What's the game? You're watching the game right now,
It's
right?
116-107 Miami inside of a minute.
Ah,
Inside of a
okay.
minute left. So Miami's got this one.
Okay, so Miami's got game one. Um, I'm still gonna kind of pull for the Celtics. I think they're just a little bit have more offensive strength, even though it looks like they lost this first game. But that's the thing. I think Miami's a better defensive team. So I don't know. I'm gonna kind of pull for the Celtics, which is kind of hard for me to say since I'm a Laker fan, but I am a fan of Jason Tatum. And I like how just also I appreciate Jason Tatum because I know he was a big Kobe fan. So that's my link. That's my connection to the
Okay.
Celtics. So we'll see. I think I don't know who's gonna win the whole thing, but I'm pulling for Celtics in the East and I'm pulling for Mavs in the West. So we'll see. I think these current series are gonna be really exciting. Um, and just fun to watch. So I was definitely surprised that the Mavs totally destroyed Phoenix, on that last
Ooh, I know. That was crazy.
so but yeah, so I'm so we'll see what happens. I think I don't know, I'm trying to think who's really good on Miami. I know they got Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, they
Um
got Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo,
yeah,
Tyler Hero coming off the bench. Kyle Lowry went over there this year. So they got
yeah,
a
I know Lowry's over there. But I'm just trying to think of like a really superstar, you know, offensive player. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's probably going to be Jimmy Butler for them.
yeah,
So
Jimmy Butler's probably their best. I mean, he's their go-to guy if they got a last shot to win the game. But
yeah.
they're a pretty well balanced team, man. Real physical team.
Mm.
Uh, you know, yeah,
Yeah.
I like their style. I like watching them play. Plus, I just got some friends, man, that are big fans of those guys, man.
Yeah.
I want them to be happy too. So kind of like pulling for them by proxy.
Got it. That's cool. So all right, so let's talk a little bit about speaking of, like, you just talked about friends and connections in the hobby. You mentioned before that you've been able to kind of gain a lot of friends just even through like Twitter and stuff like that. Um, do you think that that's one of the strengths of just social media, nowadays with dealing with the hobby versus like maybe 10 years ago?
Yeah, it can be for sure, man.
Mm.
Well, it definitely is for me. Like I
Yeah.
said, there was a time where I was collecting cards and it was like really hard to find anybody. There was this old trade forum that I used to go on and we would mail each other cards and little trades and stuff, but it was like just a few people on there, man. But now,
Yeah.
you have access to all these people. And, I think for me, the community has been really cool, man. I've made some good friends. I've made some like legitimate good friends
Mm.
through the internet, which is kind of crazy because we don't really ever chat, even as much as you and I are right now. So
Right.
everything's through text, and
Mm.
sometimes like you're in a hurry and it maybe comes across like different than you would want. So sometimes I feel like the communication is a little bit weaker than it would be with traditional friendships whenever you're, face to face more. But
Mm.
that being said, just over time, just chatting with these guys over time, just develop some friendships. I get a lot of messages every day, man. And, one of my favorite things is when somebody DMs me and they ask me about what something that's going on with their collection. Do you think I
Yeah.
should buy this card, or do you think I should sell this card, or should I get this graded, or hey, I'm thinking about doing stack sales. So I love to pass on the little bit that I have been able to learn since I've been doing this, and that in itself has just helped to really build some cool friendships.
Nice. That's cool. So so what about you? So I know that you collect different players. Do you have any goals? Like, do you ever set like, or maybe even like a strategy? Like, we're almost midway of the year, right? For 2022. Do you have any goals for like the rest of the year? Like maybe cards you would like to get or stuff like that?
I mean, there's a couple cards that are really high on my want list right now. A Bill Russell rookie and a Jackie Robinson rookie. But those cards are so expensive, and the timing sometimes those cards can have swings in popularity, and there's not that many of them to where they can go up 20%. And if they go up 20%, that might be a couple grand even for like a low grade card. So
Mhm.
those are the cards that I'm really going for, or that I would really love to get. Uh, Otherwise, as far as just like stashing cards away, I've been really looking at a lot of the older select basketball cards. Uh,
Okay.
Select came out as at the same time as Prism, 2012, but 2013, 2014, I really love the silvers and some of the other parallels that they have. Um, so yeah, I've been trying to stash some of those away. A lot of times I just buy lots for my stack sale inventory, and if I
Yeah.
find something really cool, if I can swing it, I'll just kind of pull it off the top, and hold on to it for a while.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah, that's really what I'm. There's some older soccer cards that I'm kind of into, some soccer stickers, Ronaldinho, that I've been trying to find for a while. You can really work hard to try to find those, man. They just don't come up very often. Even though
Yeah.
there's not a huge demand for them, the supply might be like five, so
Mhm.
you can be really looking for a while.
Yeah. So what do you what do you think about, I know that grading is becoming more and more popular, maybe in the last couple of years, and I know a lot of people who are considered like investors or flippers, they want to try to grade a card, they want to get that gym mint 10 and then maybe try to make a profit on it. What do you think about grading? What's your preference on it? Do you ever grade cards, or what do you think?
I have graded cards. I don't currently. I haven't done it in quite a long time, for sure,
Yeah.
since PSA's prices went up. Uh,
Right.
Overall, like my best cards in my collection are all graded. I bought them that way mostly because I buy them online. So when PSA first started their business up, that was the deal. Is that, eBay and buying cards online was like, it was the Wild West, man. And you really couldn't trust anybody. So how do I know I'm buying this card from this dude that I don't know? So
Mm.
that's how there was a market for PSA to start their business, and it was to provide a safe way to be able to buy cards online and know that you were getting something authentic and have a
Right.
pretty good idea for what the grade is.
Mm.
Now, what that's turned into over time, man, to each their own. It's for the most part, it's like for me paying 3 times the price of a PSA 9 for a PSA 10 usually doesn't make sense as a collector.
Mm.
Something else that I see a lot of, man, I see a lot of people buying cards that, in a PSA 10, this card's $100, let's say, but I
Okay.
crack it out of this slab and now it's worth $5. Like, if you don't want the card, then it doesn't matter what the grade is.
Right.
Like it's just not that good of a card. And I
Mm.
see a lot of people buying a lot of cards that just the cards themselves are
Mm.
not very good cards, man. And
Mm.
they're paying this big markup for a PSA grade, and like I said, to each their own, man. Some people, that's what they collect and they swear by it. Uh,
Right.
I think a lot of times what it seems like to me is people buy cards and they're really just hoping to be able to sell it to somebody else for more money.
Mm.
They don't even really like the card. I mean, whatever. I'm kind of speculating a little bit about what I think is going on, but
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of that with graded cards. But I don't know, when PSA's open and they're in business, the hobby is better off for it. I would say
Mm.
that.
Yeah.
There was whenever you could just go down to Walmart or Target and buy a blaster box for $20, and then you could, if you got a really nice like silver rookie or whoever, and you could send it to PSA for $15 and get it graded. That was a cool deal, man, because people would get that card back. Maybe they sell it for $100, but that $100 went back into the hobby. They would
Right.
take that $100 and they buy two $50 cards or whatever. They go back and buy 4 more blasters. But what's happened, as best I can tell, blasters are like $30 now, just for
Yeah.
a blaster, like regular tops or Domrus basketball. Like that's bargain bin $10 blasters, man. And they're $30 and grading's $50.
Mm.
So that money that used to be that collectors could make and put back into the hobby, at least some of it is getting sucked up by companies who, they saw what was going on and they wanted a bigger piece of the pie. And that's what they're supposed to do. But yeah, the hobby's a lot better off with grading and people being able to send their cards in and get them graded. It's just
Mm.
not really for me. The other thing is, because I do stack sales, if I graded cards, then that would mean that all the raw cards that everybody bought from me have already been picked over. And that
Mm.
wouldn't be fair to my customers. It's just not,
Mm.
I don't think that would be right. And it's not something I'm really interested in.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Because the majority of what you sell is raw, right? Would you say that's accurate?
Yeah, that's accurate. Sometimes I'll get today I got about 20 graded cards in the mail, that I bought from one guy all at one time. So they come in little chunks like that, but the vast majority of what I sell are cards that somebody is gonna, put in a binder, put in a top loader, put in a whatever. It's not most of the cards that I sell, I would say like 90% of the cards that I sell, nobody's gonna grade them, no matter, even if they're in perfect condition. They're
Yeah.
$3 or they're $5 or whatever. Like,
Right.
not really a card that you would grade. They're more collector cards.
Got it. All right. So let's go to the comments a little bit. So this is one of my biggest fans here. This is my mom right here. So she's giving you a compliment. So I want to make sure you see it. She says, "Sounds like you know more than you think about basketball." So little compliment there from
Thank you,
one of my
ma'am.
big fans. Um, and then we got another question here. This is my dad here. This is Pops here. He's saying, "So Robert, can you give us some insight into what cards might be collectible at this time?"
I mean, what cards might be collectible? One of my favorite sayings in the hobby is that cards are valuable because we like them. and not that we like cards because they're valuable. So
Mm.
cards that are collectible, my suggestion to people is always, find something that you really like, and that's what's collectible. If you're
Right.
trying to predict like the financial side of the market and try to predict what cards are going to go up, and you're buying cards based on that, first of all, your chances of being successful are low. That's just been proven by collectors over the last 40 years or whatever, and it's just not as much fun, So it's otherwise, as far as cards that are collectible, cards that always do well long term are the very best players,
Mm.
like the very best players. The cards that people buy from me, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, I don't really, if I get a Karl Malone card, I mean, Karl Malone was a great player. He's a legend, man. But
Right.
even Akeem Olajuwon,
Mm.
our guy here in Houston, man, Akeem Olajuwon, if I get a nice Olajuwon insert, I mean, I'm looking at like maybe $3 or something like that, where the same Jordan card is going to be $30, So
Mhm.
long term, collecting the very best players, Tom Brady, Lionel Messi,
Mm.
Tom Brady cards versus Drew Brees cards, or Peyton Manning. Tom Brady and Peyton Manning's careers were pretty similar in a lot of ways. They were a lot closer to each other in talent
Yeah.
than what their card prices are. The card prices are nowhere near each other,
Mm.
So that's a little bit of a insight as far as what, if you're looking at spending a bunch of money, cards that you're going to do better on in the long run, not losing, is just going with the very best players.
Okay, so I appreciate. Thanks for the answer. Thanks for answering that. So I wanted to ask you a question. So, you mentioned Select a little bit. I know Panini has been out for, I don't know, about 10 years, maybe 12 years. I think they kind of took over around 2010. Um, and they have their own sets of brands. Are there any certain like brands with Panini, or maybe even older than Panini, whether it was Upper Deck, Tops, for maybe basketball, that you like the most, or that you kind of have a preference for, or I'm just kind of curious.
Yeah, Topps Chrome in basketball. So Topps Chrome, they started making Topps Chrome in '96, which was Kobe's rookie year. Uh,
Yeah,
there's also some other rookies in that set: Allen Iverson, Steve Nash, Ray Allen. So it's a great rookie class. And the first year that they started making those, they didn't make a lot of different parallels early on,
mm,
but as
yeah,
Top Chrome went along, they started making different inserts and refractors of those inserts and different serial numbered colored parallels. So I really like the older Topps Chrome basketball.
mm,
I like the early years of Select, and Revolution. I really like Revolution, man. They have
mm,
a really cool parallel called a Cosmic that's serial numbered out of 100. I've been kind of secretly stashing those away whenever I can get them.
yeah,
Uh, so I like those. Really, I like parallel cards more than base cards in general. So if I find something that's cool, this year regular Domers basketball has these green and orange laser cards or whatever.
yeah.
And I'm a Rockets fan, so I picked up a few of the Rockets rookies and stuck those aside. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. But I do. So I'll tell you something. Whenever Topps lost the basketball license and Panini took over, that was
Yeah.
in 2012. So there were
Okay.
no basketball cards made in 2011. It was this
Mm,
transition period. So when 2012 Prism came out, it actually had 2 years worth of rookies.
mm,
So it's got Kawhi Leonard's rookie, Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and a bunch of other guys, uh, but that set was trash when it came out, man. Nobody was interested.
yeah.
It was like 4 cards in a pack. It was a huge set, like a 400 card set. You got
Mm,
4 cards in a pack, and some of the players were like retired players. They
yeah.
just have a random Dominique Wilkins in there, and this was the first set that anybody was doing that in that I remember collecting, and it was like, man, nobody wanted those. The any kind of parallels were like few and far between. So
Yeah.
yeah, they were like just trash, man. Nobody wanted them. I put a set together from packs that I bought at Walmart, and also like cards that other people bought that I do, and they were like just giving them to me, like, here, man, take this trash out of my house, you know.
So
And
that's weird. If they were that bad back then, how did Prism get so popular? I mean, what do you think?
I mean, Prism was their base product. You know, that was the first set that they came out with that Panini tried to make popular. But I don't know, man. I really don't know why Prism became like the flagship brand for Panini. I can say that I don't think that it happened until 2018. Really,
Mm,
you know, Luka and Trey's rookie year. A lot of
right.
new collectors came into the hobby all at the same time, or old collectors came back into the hobby, and some things changed, man. And that was one of them. You know, Prism all of a sudden was like triple the price of Select and Revolution, and I don't really know why. It hasn't always been that way for sure. There was other
Yeah.
stuff going on. Like people would say that that baseball card collectors liked that the old school baseball card collectors liked regular Topps paper cards and not Topps Chrome cards. And I
Mm,
don't even know where that again, I don't know where that came from, man. I've been collecting baseball cards my whole life, and
yeah.
everybody liked Topps Chrome. But anyway, so there was a few things that just kind of came out of nowhere around 2018, really 2019.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah. So let's see. I think I've seen a little bit of some things on the news about Topps coming out with the basketball sets. I know they came out with like a high school set. I can't remember the name of it. I don't know if you know about that at all.
I saw a little bit about it, man, but I didn't learn anything about it. You know, I saw a friend of mine show me a couple pics. It looked like maybe they were chrome paper, but I'm not even sure if these were high school guys or it was like some kind of G League. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to you know, Fanatics starting to make cards again, and hopefully bringing back some of those old Topps brand and Topps style cards with the chrome. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that as well. So let's see. My mom has a comment here. What about the high school sisters soccer players that signed with Nike today? Will they have cards of any value? I really don't know who these soccer players are, but do you know anything about them?
No, I don't know about that either. Uh, I do know that, you know, as of the last couple of years, there's been a lot of cards that were always before that considered to be like really niche cards that nobody cared about that have
Yeah.
really spiked up in value. And
Mm.
I don't know, like time will tell if there's a real demand for those. And the reason they're going up in value is because of traditional supply and demand factors, or if it's just a couple of people that are trying to beat the game and trying to get out front and buy these up before everybody else does so they can sell them for more. I don't know, but nothing would surprise me. Nothing would surprise me. One of my friends was telling me a couple of days ago that he traded an F1 card for two Jordan rookies. And
Wow.
yeah, and that's what I said. I was like, a racing card? Wow. And, you know, people love F1 and they love their cards, but like,
Yeah.
that's out of nowhere, man. A couple years
Mm,
ago, I mean, I don't think most people knew the difference in F1 and NASCAR, and nobody cared about the cards if they even made them.
right. Yeah, I've definitely seen a lot more of that. I see more of F1. I see more, UFC, wrestling cards. I mean, I don't know how long. Do you know how long Prisms has been making like UFC cards? I mean, I think those are kind of fairly new, right?
Prism, I'm not sure. I know that
Okay.
they started making UFC cards in around 2010, 2012, right in that range somewhere. So maybe it was Topps that started making them initially. And
Yeah.
I had looked at some one time, man, because I'm a fan of the sport, you know,
Yeah.
and I'm a fan of cards. And I was like, well, maybe I'll pick some up. And, you know, at the time, you could get like a George St. Pierre autograph rookie card for like 20 bucks or so, you know, and George St. Pierre was one of the best fighters in the world at that time. He was a champ, you know, and uh, 20 bucks. And I don't know, for me, I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I really care about these. Like, I kind of just like to stick to the major sports when it comes to cards, but I wish I would have bought some up now, man. Those are really popular.
Hmm. Got it. So what do you think? How do you think things will change when Fanatics gets going? Any idea like maybe how things will change in the hobby at all, or just even if it's just a guess?
Well, one thing that that Fanatics has said on multiple occasions is that Topps and Panini didn't really spend any money advertising their product, and that's obvious to me. I've never cards has always been kind of a thing that if you know, you know, but if you don't know, you. It's not like even I go to a lot of sporting events, and they're not really putting cards in front of you at sporting events. So that's one thing that Fanatics has said is that they're planning on spending a lot of money to advertise sports cards and try to get more people back in the hobby. Another thing with their deal that I think is really cool is that they have the players associations with baseball, basketball, and football are all partners in this deal with Fanatics. So
Right.
they have a vested interest in trying to increase the popularity of cards also. And that's
Yeah.
never been the case before. That's why you get these crappy like sticker autos and, you know, jerseys that are from like no particular player or event cards. But so I'm really looking forward to Fanatics like running a lot of commercials, running commercials during
Mm.
events, seeing cards at live sporting events, seeing the players get more involved. And what I'm hoping for is a big increase in collectors, because it makes it a lot more fun and it also drives up the value of our collections that we already have.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that too. I think just I'm just kind of just curious to see what they're going to come out with, if they're going to what kind of new designs, new products, and how that's going to work, because I know that a lot of people also like for basketball and football, people have been so used to just Panini, just handling all those, for the last 10 or 12 years. So it's definitely going to be a interesting time when they start getting going. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me
Um,
too. Me too.
yeah. So something else I wanted to ask you. So okay, so going back to your Twitter account, um, are you up? I think you're up to like 8,000 followers, or maybe more,
Yeah,
10,000.
yeah. I crossed over 10,000 followers a couple months ago, so that's been really
Nice.
cool. Yeah,
So how long did you have that account, and how long did it take you to reach to pass 10,000 followers?
a couple of years, but I worked really hard at it. Um,
Mm,
and I don't really have like a lot of content or a lot of like groundbreaking ideas, post a lot of cool polls, that make people want to follow me. And people don't really care that much about what I have to say about cards. And
mhm,
I get that. I don't really have a lot of like breaking news. So the way that I got a lot of followers is by following a lot of people. Like I
mm,
follow almost 10,000 people also. So
mm.
I follow pretty much everybody that follows me. I follow them back, and a lot of people that don't follow me, if they post a lot of card content, then that's how I went about it, man. And that's what I tell other people to do. I just followed a lot of people, and a lot of them followed me back, and it ended up just kind of growing that way.
Got it.
It kind
And
of trips
so,
me out when I see people say like, "I'm so thankful for the all the followers that I get," and I look and they don't follow anybody back, and I'm like, I don't want to talk down on anybody in particular, but my thought is like, if you're thankful, show your gratitude, give them a follow back.
mm, mm. Yeah, that's a good point. I appreciate that. Um, so what do you are you? So I know we talked a little bit. I think off camera. I know you mainly use Twitter. Have you ever tried any other social media like Instagram or anything like that?
I mean, I have an Instagram account, but I never really use it. I set it up
Mm,
one day, thinking that I was gonna. I know that it's really popular in the hobby. I think that it's way more popular than Twitter, and
mm,
I hear people talk about all the great cards that people post, and the funny accounts and everything. And it seems like a great deal for me with the stack sales and everything that I've got going on. And like I said in the beginning, my other time commitments, work and family, I don't think I could manage like a whole nother social media account. So I have it. Maybe one day I'll get to it, but for now I'm just gonna stay in my lane.
All right, sounds good. Well, I'm gonna share my screen really quick. I know this is kind of towards the end, but I'm gonna share my screen and kind of just show your Twitter account, so people know how to follow you. You know, if they watch this on a replay. So we'll just kind of scan through it really quick. So can you see this on the screen?
Yep, I can see it.
All right, cool. So yeah, just so if you guys are watching this now, or if you guys watch this on a replay, here's Dixon's cards. Here's his 10,000 followers. If you guys want to go check him out on Twitter, this is definitely how you would do it. So it's just at Dixon's cards on Twitter. And then I know you also have a website as well. So I have this. Let me see if I can share the website.
Yeah, it's right on the banner right there. It's dixonscards.com. I don't do a lot of card sales or anything like that on our website. It's really just to kind of explain who we are, and by we, every me and the kids, and how the stack sales work. That's the majority of what it's there for. Twitter only gives you so many characters, and I wanted a way to be able to edit and share information with people.
Right, right. Yeah, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. All right, so I'm gonna go to it anyways and see if I can share it really quick. Give me a second,
Uh-oh.
if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind.
Okay. All right, so here it is, dixonscards.com, like you said. And I know you guys also provide supplies too, right? So it's not just cards. You do sell supplies.
Yeah, I mean, that deal is, it's not really like a big part of our business well, it's not a big part of our business at all. But it just made sense because people are already getting their cards shipped to them. So the customers that we have, everybody uses supplies. They're already paying for shipping. I know whenever I go online and I order supplies, like, it's just annoying how much of it is the shipping costs. You
Right.
know, I need $6 worth of top loaders, and it's like $12 to get my items shipped to me. So uh, I've started buying supplies sort of in bulk, man. Not like a big
Yeah.
like wholesale distributor would be, but just a case of this and that. And I try to carry like the very basic things that the people that collect cards that buy from us would use.
Got it. Awesome. That's cool. So I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I just want to first of all definitely say thank you for taking the time. I know you are in Houston, and so you're 2 hours ahead. So I appreciate you taking the time to just join me and just have a conversation. And hopefully, if you guys are watching this, or if you guys watch this on a replay, you guys will have a chance to go check out Dixon's cards on Twitter, and maybe you guys can have a chance to just even start collecting, adding to your collection. So.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. I've been following all your content that you've been putting out since we met and you first told me about it. And I think it's a cool thing you got going, man. Just interviewing people that are just regular people in the hobby, basically, not, the CEO of this or that big corporation. I think it's cool. I really like it. And you just got a good personality, comes off well on camera. So it's been fun. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, I appreciate that, man. Well, you take care, and if you're down, we'll have to plan another one of these.
Yeah, we'll do it, man. I'll bring some cards next time.
All right, sounds good. All right,
Okay.
you have a good one.
You too.